kinda like complicated. I never know what I'm chasing, no. I don't need someone to save me, but you appear like a lightning bolt.
I just unmuted my mic. I'm excited for this live stream, everybody. This is my first time using the countdown timer. I feel extra legit. I can see Jen. She's laughing at me, with me. She's laughing with me while she's drinking her coffee, getting ready. We're getting pumped. See you in 4 minutes. There we go. That's my first time using that countdown timer. I felt kind of cool, with the timer going.
You felt like you were counting down to like the opening of a movie or something.
That's right. Eric and Jen are almost here. As far as Maxim's really interesting question from Maxim from Kazakhstan, he wants to integrate audio to face, integrate it with ChatGPT. The cool, I don't think there is a ready-made solution, at least not that I'm aware of. But that's what's so cool about Omniverse is you can make a ready-made solution, and then you can sell it and make money, right? Cool. I love it. And today in engineering design in Omniverse, we're going to continue our JetRacer project. We're moving over to kind of a ROS ecosystem. We were just using Jupyter notebooks. And so let's see. So this week, what we'll do, so last week we installed Jetpack onto our JetRacer. And this week we're going to install ROS2 and just get some ROS2 Hello World going on the JetRacer. So that's this step. And so let's get started. First, I just wanted to share I actually prepared this time. We might actually get through the material. First, I was just totally lost with ROS2. And even though I was reading the documentation, I was having a hard time understanding what was going on. And so I want to share this link to a Udemy course. And there are a lot of courses like this. I'm not saying this is certainly not the only one, but I've enjoyed it. And Udemy often has sales and discounts. And I think the list price for this is like $85, but on sale for me, it was like $15. So I'll bet you could find a coupon or something. You can usually find a sale with Udemy, right? So like $15, like 10 hours of lecture. It just walks you through, holds your hand and walks you through some ROS2 stuff. And
you say it was only $15?
Yeah.
Wow.
On sale.
I've seen some that are like 125, 50.
Yeah, and I've seen that too. And usually if you just pop open an incognito tab, you find them on sale. Certainly not always, but for like $15. I don't think I've ever spent more than $20 on a course, even though, like I said, if you dig around, you can usually find a sale for Udemy. So and sometimes they have sales going on for like, Black Friday sales or whatever. And then I'll look for a class that's interesting and go ahead and buy it when they have good sales going. Alrighty. So let's give that class a shout out because I thought he did a good job, The next thing I did is and I'll show you here. I was reading, so in his class, he's using a Linux VM on his Windows computer, which I didn't want to do. So I'm using Windows Subsystem for Linux. It's gotten really good. But he had this really cool terminal that let you split the terminal into panes and tabs and stuff. So like, man, I need that on Windows. And it turns out there is one on Windows. And we're going to share the link for that right here. Oh, interesting. Well, if you play with VPN and currency, you can get Udemy courses for $1. I'll leave that to your comfort level. Mm-hmm. I'll just pay $15, I think. That's interesting, though. It must be based on globalization. That it must adjust prices for globalization. But yeah, so now I've shared this other link. Oh, did I did the same Udemy link again. My copy and paste didn't work right. Let's try this again. I'm so sorry. There we go. This is an app published by Microsoft. It's this really cool terminal. And let me share my screen and show it to you. So it's a terminal, and it's got, you can do tabs. And in one of these, if I hit Alt-Shift+, it opens up a second pane in the same one. Can I have more than one SSH into a Jetson? Let's find out. Totally. Yeah. So a little bit of work there. If you hit Alt-Shift-, it opens a vertical pane. So I can, if I hit, I forget how to close the panes, but yeah, it's really cool. It's really a cool terminal. It's like Shift, I don't remember. There's no like, yeah, there's no like menu command to close the pane, but anyway, it's really cool. It's nice because you might be doing multiple, you're often doing multiple tasks in the terminal. I'm learning, and I didn't know that. That's cool. You can have a custom background too. Yeah, and it's got the syntax highlighting. It's just a lot better than your base terminal. So and if you recall from last week, let's just close this and restart from scratch here. So here I'm in my host computer, my workstation. I'm going to SSH with a X11 option so that I can do some graphics. And then I do your username that you've set up on the Jetson at the IP address. And if you don't know your IP address, you need to just hook up a keyboard and a display to your Jetson and run ifconfig. And then you want the WLAN 0 IP address so that you're working over Wi-Fi. That'll let you do it. Like if you're out in the field training your robot, you can SSH in with your laptop or something. Really slick. Let's see. I've already got Jetpack installed. So here we go. So now we've got Linux installed. And then for development, you want to have VS Code installed as well. I have code installed, but for some reason it's not working over the X11 protocol. So if I type in code, it launches. But if I have a display hooked in, I'll see that it crashes eventually, and it doesn't ever show up on this computer like it should. So figuring that out, but that's kind of the dev environment. Let's go ahead and let's see here. What's this one? Got links and stuff all ready to go. Yeah. So I shared that terminal. So that terminal app is nice. And so next, let's make sure we've got Python installed. Do apt install Python 3. And it should be like, okay, so you can go ahead and run that. And if it's already installed, you'll get this message that says nothing was changed because it's already all installed. And you want to do the same thing for pip. It should, oh, there's an update. So I'm updating pip. There you go. So it's a good thing I ran that. I didn't have pip installed. So so the first one was sudo apt install Python 3. And where was that? I'm not seeing Papa Chuck says we need package managers. Yeah, pip, right? Is that what you mean? Did we set up a virtual environment from Zia? Uh, I'm not. No, I'm just shelled into the actual Jetson. So the Jetson here behind me, I've got an SSH going into it over Wi-Fi. That was the SSH-X. Yeah. So I'm actually no virtual environment. And as far as the command line on my Windows computer, I've installed Windows Subsystem for Linux. So I'm running. I just find it a little easier. You can run SSH from the Windows command line, but there are some hoops to jump through, and I just find everything's a little smoother if you're going Linux to Linux. Yeah, Windows Subsystem for Linux has been really helpful for this stuff. Because, I mean, you can get ROS working for Windows, but far fewer people seem to do that. So I find a lot of the tutorials and information are in Linux. So I find it easiest, even though Linux is not my comfort zone. I find that if I'm learning a new technology, if I can just align with the stack that most people use with that technology, even if I have to learn the stack, it ends up being a lot easier. And the robotics folks are definitely more on Linux. that is for sure. Okay, so we're shelled in. We've got pip installed. I see what Raynon is saying here. Pip is for Python. There are package managers for other things. In some cases, Artifactory for binaries, or even there's the APT setup for in Linux. It's really cool. A lot of these, or Snap for Linux. There's a lot of package managers out there. Yeah. Okay, we've got pip installed. So now, okay. Here's an important little detail. Is we want to say this command uname. This should give us the Linux version. Where is it? No, it doesn't. Let me just find out. Uname minus A. Where is Linux? Here we go. LSB -A. Here we go. So Jetpack 512 comes on. I don't know how to say it. Is it Ubuntu? How do you say that word? Do you know, Jen?
I mean, it's the same thing when you're doing caramel and caramel, right?
Yeah.
So I say Ubuntu, but
Ubuntu. Okay.
as some people will say I'm wrong, and it's what you can say however you want.
He answered it. There you go. Oh, just a second. This is what he said. There we go. That clears it up. Thanks for the text explanation of how to say that word out loud. Ubuntu. Okay. So Jetpack 5.5 comes on Ubuntu 20.04. And if you look at the ROS documentation, different ROS releases work on different releases of Ubuntu. Okay. So, and with 20.04, the right version of ROS is ROS Foxy. There you go. And if you're new to ROS, the versions just follow the alphabet. So the first release was something that was like Albatross, I think, and now the most current one is Humble. And another little tip is if you look at the ROS releases, take a look at when their support ends, because they alternate between long support and short support. The short support ones are only be supported for a year and a half. The long support ones will be supported for like 5 years. So Foxy is one of those year and a half ones, but it's just what's compatible with Jetpack right now. And I've been told that Jetpack 6 will be on Ubuntu 22, the more recent version of Ubuntu. And then that will work with ROS Humble. Yeah. Now, another thing I learned, we will get to the point where we're using ROS Humble on our Jetson that's got the wrong operating system. And you might ask, Eric, how can you possibly do that? How can you run an app that isn't even compatible with your operating system? And that's one of the cool things about containers. Because containers ship or are sent out with their entire set of dependencies down to the operating system, we can deploy a ROS2 Humble container to our Jetson and run it on the Jetson. Now, I don't know how to do that yet. I just know that that's how it's done. So, and we are headed in that container direction as well, because from what I understand, so I'm on this Windows workstation, and we're going to be able to get a ROS2 container set up and running on my workstation, and then we can use an Isaac ROS bridge to have that container use Omniverse as if Omniverse is a robot in the real world. So we can do all our development on a Windows workstation or whatever workstation you want, and then you can deploy those containers to your Jetson and run them there. That's how you do it at this high level, and I'm learning the details as fast as I can. Okay, so circling back, we're going to go ahead and install ROS2 Foxy directly onto our workstation. Okay, where are we at here? All right, so next, I'm going to share another link. This is to the ROS2 Foxy documentation that shows how to install it. And let's see here. Follow that link. And I'm just going to pop it up here so you all can follow along with me. And just so you look, related projects, no. Oh, shoot. So somewhere in here, I mean, heck, there's Foxy in the URL. You can type Humble in right there, and there's the Humble instructions. But like I said, you need Ubuntu 22 and change. Whatever the dot version of, here you go, Ubuntu 22.04. Yeah. Alrighty. Keep going. Oh. Here you go. Ubuntu Linux. Okay, we've got Ubuntu. First, we check our locale. It must be a UTF-8 locale. So we're going to check our locale first. And I'm already in English as a UTF-8 locale. This is more, I think, if you have a locale that has, maybe Arabic or characters for your text, then you might need to switch to an English locale or a UTF-8 with a locale. All right. And sure, we're just going to follow along all these steps. Great, all set.
And you're doing this all on the Jetson right now, right?
Yeah. See how it says Eric at JetRacer?
Well, that could just be your computer.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. You guys don't know the names of my stuff, so this is my user, my root user on the JetRacer itself. And let's see. Just going to copy this and yep, just going through here. All right. Thank heavens it has these instructions, huh? Let's see here. Install development tools and ROS tools. Ah. Okay, this is, I don't think we need, let's just try to skip with some of this stuff. I don't think we need to do all these tools right now. Let's just get, there we go. Let's get to the meat of it. I'm going to actually pin this here and then do this here. Make that a little bigger, that a little smaller.
You got one question from Renan.
Yeah.
So why are you doing Ubuntu native install instead of the WSL one?
Oh, the reason, well, for one thing, I've lost my window. Just a second.
And then if some people don't know, it's the Windows subsystem Linux is what WSL is, or something around that.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry. I've lost my StreamYard tab. I must have used it for something. Oh, I did. I totally did. Sorry.
Oof.
There we go. Found it. Okay. Yeah, WSL is Windows Subsystem for Linux. And that's where I did it that's where I installed ROS2 when I did this on my local workstation. But we are not working on my local workstation right now. We are working on my JetRacer. We are SSH'd into my JetRacer, installing this on this hardware.
So we're doing everything on Linux right now and not in Windows.
That's right. And so the JetRacer has got Linux installed, not Windows. So okay, so now we're here on my in my home directory, and we just need to create a workspace. Okay, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and create a workspace. What's the -P option in make directory? I don't know. I'll just follow along that with what they're doing though. -P ROS2_Foxy source.
It might be for parent.
Okay. Oh dear. Import. Oh, they probably installed VCS or something, huh? I don't know what VCS is. I swear, I'm so sorry. I thought I wrote down every step. All right, well, let's just keep going through here. Let's just read some of this documentation, huh? VCS command not found.
Is that part of your tools?
That's what I'm wondering. Let's take a look and see if we can see VCS in here.
It might also just be inside, like it might be a tool that's already inside one of the top folders. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. I don't see pip install. It's funny because I just pulled up a little thing. It says pip install VCS tool, which was not in the direct instructions. So let's try that again. See if it works now. Oh, what?
This is what happens when you skip steps.
I know, right? Actually, all right. Well, let's go back and do the steps I was skipping. Let's see. APT date. Okay. Sudo apt. Oh. Go. Oh, see, there's ROS dev tools. What do you want to bet? That's got some stuff we need. Yeah. Just going through them steps. Let's see what else we need to do. So in Python 3, pip install, bunch of stuff here. Install that stuff, install Cyclone. Oh. So I installed Humble on my workstation, and it was a lot more straightforward. But it's hard to say. I was following that class, and I think maybe I think he understands what each of these tools do better than I do, and just had a little bit more streamlined installation. It's all right. We'll get there. Yeah. There we go. So I wonder, yeah, interesting. I'm just gonna see if I can just run these as like a paste anyway. Because they have the continuation lines, I figured I could. There we go. When you paste into your command line and it's got carriage returns, it'll just run the first command and then it can do weird stuff. But these slashes are basically continuations that say, I want to write a command that takes more than one line. So I think it's okay to paste one of them in.
I like Zia's comment. We all learn together.
I just don't know why that import line is looking up above, but maybe it has to do with, yeah, man, Linux. I've got a lot to learn, folks.
Oh, wait till you start getting into the different flavors, and then each flavor has their own set of things and stuff, and whew.
Yeah, well, fortunately, at least so far, I only care about the ROS flavor. So.
Yeah. No, there's quite a bit. I always bounce back and forth between a lot. I've done Kali, I've done Fedora.
All right, here we go.
Too much Fedora. Nobody ever talk about Fedora. I don't want to. It's gonna bring up some bad memories.
All right, who's going to give me a hard time? I got to get that counter button going again so I can you guys give me crap about skipping steps because now it's working. I have no idea why. Sorry, folks. I should.
You know what? It could potentially be
one of these things fixed it.
Well, if you think about it, it probably did some type of installation. And when it did that installation, it also included it into your path variables as well. Whereas if you just did the pip install, it probably only just added it, but it didn't add it to your path.
Now, sudo apt upgrade, this is where the magic happens. So it actually installs ROS. I don't know why sudo apt update doesn't and then upgrade does, but I know this is where after this step you can start to use some ROS.
Because you need to give it administrator permissions.
Oh dear. Never use upgrade if you don't know what you're doing, what you're updating. Well, I do. Okay, it's upgrading permissions. Well, it makes sense. So if you download some tool from some internet sketchy source, then upgrade could elevate. It sounds like upgrade could elevate the permissions of whatever whatever spyware you just downloaded and let it wreak havoc on your machine. Fortunately, I do trust the dependencies on this ROS2 tutorial, and they're all familiar, right? There's like Flake and Python. Great tip, though. I didn't know that. See, we've got a bunch of Linux learners here.
Nah, I always say update.
Oh. Okay, cool. Okay. Updating my ROS dependencies. And then here we go. Oh, that's good information. It's not about spyware. It's also because of the dependencies from different Python packages. So it sounds like you could end up with conflicting packages that might, really mess you up. Oh dear. I think this is part of the learning journey, though. In this case, I want to use ROS, and I've got to install ROS. It could mess up some of my stuff from Jetpack. I don't think so, though, since Jetpack, I think, was meant to be used with Foxy. Yeah. Let's see what else it says in the documentation here. Yeah, this is just a really... I think from here we're going to... oh, right. Let me see here. Let me pop up my little thing. Yeah, so every time you run Foxy, or if you want to use it, you have to do this source command that runs this setup.shell. But what you want to do here is we want to open up bash rc and add this source line to it so that it automatically kind of configures Foxy whenever we open a terminal. And yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're doing a lot more than ROS on your computer, you might not want to do this because it's going to, every time you open a terminal, it's going to run this little thing to set up ROS. But we're really just doing ROS on this, so we'll do that once this is done, which we don't know how long that will take. But place bash with your shell. If you're using bash. Yeah. Man, this is taking a minute. So if you wanted to join a live stream and watch a console and feel like a hacker, you've joined the right one.
Yeah. My Nano is not in this house, unfortunately. It's over at the dad's house. He keeps in all my electronics in one place, you know. Is it missing with my kitchen? No, it's just in a different house. One house has a kitchen, the other house does not have a kitchen.
So does that mean you only eat when you're in the kitchen house and you just go hungry the other days?
No, I go into the garage and I make some college food type thing.
Bachelor chow?
Yeah.
Actually, though, I'm surprised because I thought you were fueled purely off of coffee.
You know, I actually haven't been drinking coffee because we don't have a kitchen. So I'm just stuck with tea and really bad energy powder that I put into a water bottle and then drink. So I at this point now, it's been so long that I've cleansed myself.
Oh.
But I do want to go back to my coffee because otherwise I can't everything's much slower now. Like you're downloading, it's just I feel like I'm watching paint dry right now. You know.
That's not the coffee. That's just kind of what we're doing right now. We're watching software install.
But it looks so slow.
Yeah. I wish there was like a progress bar for the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I can blame the coffee anytime I want because I don't have any in my system. So therefore, I can blame the coffee.
Come on, finish. We got a live stream to do here. We got to get something talking at least.
That's okay. We still got about 19 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. Plenty of time.
Talk to us about the secret project. Then it wouldn't be a secret anymore.
Yeah.
Secret project's always going to be a secret. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
43 gigabytes. Is that true when you did it the first time? Was it 43 gigabytes for you?
I don't remember.
Oh, no.
Well, shoot. I was trying not to do any pre-work so that we really do this together. If that's the case, this is going to take a while. Let's see. How long to install ROS? 10 minutes on a standard laptop with a 60 megabit per second connection speed. Show us some CAD stuff. Yeah. Let's do that. While that's running, let's just pop over to Onshape and just play around with the CAD.
Oh, can I invite you to something that I've been working on, and then you can give me tips on whether or not I'm doing it right?
Sure.
Okay. How do I authorize you to be in my space?
I'll show you here. And by the way, I have a commercial Onshape license now through NVIDIA.
Ew.
So I got out. We can do stuff, okay? And we can make things, and I can share them with you with a license that definitely lets you sell them for money, or we're all good. No question. And well, I can't tell you. We have another little. I'm going to call it a surprise, right? The difference between a secret and a surprise is a secret is kept secret forever. A surprise is something that that I'm going to be able to tell you, right? So, but I don't want to, later. But I just want to talk a little bit about, here's a project, and once you open it, there's a share button up top.
Ah.
Share, and you can share with search by names.
Okay.
I'm Strainflow. I can't share with myself, but you should be able to share with me. So I've been thinking that, and we talked about this some from the beginning, that we want to make this kind of a general template. And so, like, if you look at this skeleton here, it doesn't have any sketch, so it's a little hard to follow, but I'm going to kind of restart this skeleton. And I'm going to build it in terms of, like, if you take this car and you measure, like, the outside, if I take my calipers, I've got my calipers here. Come on, calipers.
It's not letting me share.
Really?
Yeah.
So yours is probably already public. Maybe you could, it won't let you share. Do you want to share your screen? But so I can measure, like, this outside dimension here. Well, if my calipers were wide enough. But we'll figure that out. But if I measure that, and then if I measure the thickness of the wheel, the width of the wheel, I can use those two dimensions to come up with my track width in the front, and I'm basically going to build it. And then I've been thinking about how do I pull all the measurements I want off of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a 3-sided box in real life. Maybe out of wood or something. So you build a box, and then the 2 vertical sides. Then you can sit the car in that box. And if you imagine in my CAD, I've got like that same box, and I can take any measurements. I'll have all of my measurements referenced from that box. And that'll let me just like, and so I'm going to come up with a little system of, you got a remote control car, you want to fit to this template, you can grab my template, you can take this standard set of measurements to the hard points on your suspension, and it will conform this template to the suspension geometry of your car.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the plan.
Your thing actually finished installing.
Yes. Okay. Let's see where we're at next. So ROS is installed. Let's see. My next step is so now we have ROS installed, or we should. I'm going to share another link to the tutorial documentation. Okay, so in ROS, the way everything is organized, there are workspaces, packages, and nodes. The only thing that functionally matters are nodes. Workspaces and packages are just organizational structures. So your workspace is just generally where you do all of your ROS work on a given computer. It's very high level. And then a package is just a logical organization. So if you have a bunch of camera nodes, you might put all of your camera nodes into your camera package, okay? Or in this case, we're doing all of our robotics. I'm going to put all of our Ackerman-based stuff into an Ackerman package. And we'll have like a camera and a steering and a throttle nodes all in the Ackerman package. Then we could also later, if we want to do a differential robot package, we can do that and then kind of adapt those there. But this is all for preference. Later on, as we get bigger, we might decide, hey, all of our camera stuff would make more sense if it was organized in a camera package. Maybe we have a few different camera nodes. And we could totally do that. These are all design decisions. It's just organization. And from what I've looked at in the documentation for ROS, typically, I think a package would be a Git repository. And then all your nodes would be in that one package. All right. So with that, here's a link to the Create a Workspace documentation. Yeah, Zia, I would love it if someone, or in collaboration, if you all want to make your own tutorials off of this, write a blog post. I think you could even monetize your blog by having affiliate links to to Jetsons and that sort of thing. Okay, Papa Check's telling us, check free space. You said it's 48 gigabytes. Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe. My guess is that we haven't installed every single. Did I do this wrong? DF minus H. I see. Misread your message. Used 19 gigabytes. So no, not 48. Maybe it's 4.8. I don't know.
Well, your size is also quite large too. So.
Well, but this says how much is used though.
Yeah, but look how much is available still.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I put a pretty big micro SD card. I was like, I don't want to run it. I've had too many. I had this period in my life where I always got the free, cheapest phone from the cheapest carrier, and which is nothing wrong with that, except that as soon as you updated Android on those phones, they would be out of space. So now I'm like, I don't want to run out of space, so I get big SD cards. All right. So let's create a workspace. Do I have one yet? No. So let's go ahead and create our workspace. Make directory ROS2 underscore workspace. We're going to go to that one. And from there, it should be empty. We're going to make a source directory. So now there's a source directory, and this is where you would put all of your repositories. So you'd go to that source directory and then clone repositories there. Real quick, I forgot a space. We want to open up. So Vim is a little text editor. And this is our text editor. And I'm just going to scroll to the bottom here. And we want to add these. We want to go to I, goes to insert mode. And then there's this, we want to add this command. This script runs whenever we open a new terminal. Oh dear. It didn't work. I didn't copy right. Copy and paste is kind of being goofy with me. Oh, shoot. Well, we get to practice now. Quit. So we want to escape the insert mode, press colon to run out of Vim command, and Q quits without saving anything. No right. Oh. You want to exit. Oh, but it didn't mess it up. Oh, I did. I just said FI. Okay. Heavens. Is that all I messed up? Yes. Yeesh. Two terabyte. I did not get. What? You got a 2 terabyte SD? I did not get a 2 terabyte. It's like 256 or some such. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm copying this line. Hopefully it copies correctly this time. There we go. That's one. So this sets up the Foxy, gets it running for us. And then now, well, we'll just do it while we're here. Is this actually sets up our ROS 2 workspace that we're about to create. Exit saves. Just make sure it's saved. Yes. Quit doesn't save. Oh, yeah. Zia's asking, can we go back to seeing the Linux instruction tab? And it's actually a different page now. Let's do this. Let's go to that page. So this source ops ROS foxy setup.bash, instead of just running it once, we're adding it to that bash RC file so it runs whenever we open a new command line. Okay, we've also made this source directory, and let's change to that directory. It says, and then we're going to clone this sample repository. Actually, I'm just going to copy this line here. So we got that cloned. And oh, okay, we'll do this. Oh, where'd that go? Oh, it wants to do turtle. Is it turtle sim? We're not going to do turtle sim anyway. There's another little one that we want to do. Let me see if I've got it. ROS. Let's see. CD. ROS 2 run. So we've installed ROS 2 and it came with some demo nodes in the demo nodes package. And one of them is called Talker. And ROS 2 not found. And I think that command we added to bash RC hasn't run yet. Oh, that's the problem.
Are we gonna end up on a cliffhanger?
No. Oh gosh. Oh, actually, maybe we are, because ROS is not in here. Containered NVIDIA OTA package, but I think I might have. Oh dear. There's this. There's this ROS 2 Foxy directory. ROS 2 Foxy. Okay. Let's go back to. Yeah, this should be here at this point. We missed something here. Let's try this. See if it builds. Aha, see there's. Once we do this, it should be able to run. Oh, and here's the talker and listener. So, all right, it's building.
And they'll have to wait until next time.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna. That's a terrible cliffhanger, and this should be pretty quick. No cliffhanger. I'm gonna just wrap it up in really quick, and just show that ROS 2 can run on this Jetson. Come on. Six ongoing, huh? There we go. We're getting things that start with T now. It's getting there. It's getting there. There you go. There's someone that starts with a Y. Come on. Oh, 47 out of 311. Oh, dear. So after this step, all we've got to do is run local setup.bash, and then we can run some ROS 2 stuff. And so my question for you all is, we can wait like another, kind of let this go for another few minutes and do that together, or we can do it next time?
You're going to have to do it next time, though, because it's already 10 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock.
Well, for you.
Yeah. I want to do it. I want to wait. But do you need to drop, Jen? That's okay if you do.
Well, I do have to drop. Because we do have a meeting, though.
I know. But I just tried not to do cliffhangers. I even wrote notes and everything this time.
Okay.
It's just that this Foxy install was actually, because I installed Humble before, and then this one was Foxy. It ended up being fairly different.
Okay. Well, just make sure you don't go over too much. I'll check back in. If you're still here in 30 minutes, I'm come find you.
All right. I'm going to stay here and finish, and I'll be in the meeting in just a minute.
Yeah, I'll catch everybody else later.
All right. So while that's going, let's talk more about this CAD. Yeah, so let's see here. And the way I can do that is if you think of this box, let's think of it this way. Let's just start a whole new one. All right. Go to Onshape. Let's go to NVIDIA. Let's do create a folder. We're going to call this Ackerman Robot. Or I'm going to reverse that. And we're going to create a new document, and we're going to call it template. And let's just start by I'm trying to think of, we want the center to be the center of the car. So I'm just going to create a plane that's offset from this front plane. And we're going to go back. Well, actually, create a variable studio. And let's rename it global parameters. And let's make one, we'll call one like half width. I could just say it width. And then length. And this would be like, you just take, the first step you do is you take a ruler or some calipers, and you're just going to say, we're going to measure how long is this car, okay? And in millimeters. So let's say it's oh heck, this thing maxes out at 120. So let's just making up some numbers for now. We'll say it's 240 millimeters long, and it's 150 millimeters. Oh, I had that backwards. 150 millimeters wide and 300 long. So now what we do is we make our plane, and right here we say negative total length divided by 2. Did I do the wrong offset? Here's my front plane. So let's go off of that front plane, and we're going to say negative total length divided by 2. What's wrong here? Oh, you can't do negative numbers apparently. We'll just flip the normal though. What? Okay, what happens if we go, there we go. It's a bug in their user interface. So when we create that plane, we'll send it over here and rename it to like rear. We could do this in the front. I think the rear is kind of good. Okay, now let's go from the left. Let me think about it. Yeah, if we look at it from the left here, let's make another plane. And we want to put this in that negative direction too. And I'll show you why here. We'll do total width over 2. And flip it so that's on that left side. Let's see, this is the front. This is the rear. Yeah, this is where I want it. The directions on the cube are kind of funny. So like, if we're looking at the front of the car, then I suppose this is on the right. But I've got it in this negative direction. Oh, I see. This is what flips it back and forth. Okay. So I kind of have it on the rear right of the car. And so that hopefully everything will be positive in the positive X and Y. So if X isn't forward and Y is in this direction, everything should be, from now on, should be positive coordinates. And so I'm going to say this is the right. It's going to take a minute, huh? Yeah, this is going to take another solid 10, 15 minutes. So that's good. Well, but let's go ahead and I'll just finish this kind of first, just getting to contact patches with the CAD, and we'll see where this is at. But I think we're just going to have to come back with a cliffhanger. But it's really kind of sad because once this installs, you run this source command, and then you open up 2 terminals, and you run this talker demo in one and this listener demo in the other. And the talker just sends messages out, just like hello world messages out. And the listener just kind of echoes that it's heard the messages. So it's just a really kind of basic demo on how ROS2 communication works. And then, yeah, so back to this CAD though. Let's see, we say wheel, our total width, wheel width. And just grabbing my calipers here. They're like 27 mil. Now what we can do is we can create our sketch right here. And we can just create a box. And let's see here. And then we can do some dimensional constraints from here to here. We'll say that's wheel width over 2. And then we'll go from here to here. That's going to be total width minus wheel width over 2. Yeah. And then we need the wheel diameter in here. And that is about, let's say 65 millimeters. And then we're going to say, oh, that's not going to work. We have to measure, so we would have to set this into our rig and measure from that back plane to this axle center. Just going to eyeball it. I'll do, once I build my box, I can do a better job. That's also about, it's let's say about 60 millimeters. And so once you have that dimension, you can say, let's see, wheel, rear, let's say rear axle X. So we're going to measure, let's set that there. So that from that back plane to that rear axle is rear axle X. And then for this one, we'll say total length minus, we need front axle. That's actually what it's going to be. Let's say it's 90 millimeters for kicks. That's actually, that's what that one's going to be, is from there to there is front axle X. It doesn't pass the logic test though, does it? Oh, it's going to be more like 240. There we go. So now, so what I'm doing is I'm breaking this down of like, you put this wheel into this kind of measuring jig, and you take X and Y measurements, X, Y, and Z measurements for any point you want. And I'm trying to break this down to easy measurements as where I can. You take a set list of measurements, put them into this list of global parameters, and then boom, it updates your suspension geometry in here to what you want. And from there, you can export this directly to Omniverse using the Onshape importer, and it should come into Isaac Sim joints all ready to go. So yeah, and that way, if you're doing F1/10 and with F1/10, it's flexible what car you use, so you can adapt this to whatever car you've got, and it should be pretty flexible. And as long as the car has, double wishbone suspension, front and rear. But this is going to take a long time, so I think I should have it ready to go next time to launch this demo and have it working. So, and to Zia's question, will the mate connectors update? They absolutely should. We'll figure that out. Yeah, they will. So we'll design this so that they do. All right. Until next week, we'll see y'all later.